Hey guys, welcome. Welcome. Right now, I am streaming live. I'm super, super, super excited. Guess what launched today? I am excited because we launched Accelerated. It is a pitch and marketing coaching and consulting program for nonprofit founders. I am super excited about Accelerated because we had some amazing nonprofit founders. So if you want to get yourself funded without the hassle of grants, go to Accelerated on my LinkedIn or right here down in the bio. You'll see Accelerated down there. But I wanted to come on live and just kind of go over what the first day looked like. What the first day looked like, what were some expectations, and how are we moving Accelerated forward? Yes, that's what we're doing. What Accelerated is, it is a program that's come from Pitch Your Nonprofit. If you guys know Pitch Your Nonprofit Show, Pitch Your Nonprofit Show is a show. It's a lot to explain because the people are like, well, what the heck is that? Pitch Your Nonprofit is the #1 nonprofit show on Clubhouse. We have funded over $300,000 to nonprofit founders, and we are the Shark Tank of nonprofits. We're the Shark Tank for nonprofits. Literally, if you are a nonprofit founder, you should go to pitchyournonprofit.com. Pitchyournonprofit.com is where you can apply to pitch on the stage to sharks who are looking to offer feedback and funding. And we don't necessarily just take the Shark Tank approach where it's like, we're just going to fund you or not fund you and leave you just kind of dead in the water. Because it is social impact, because it's nonprofit founders, we literally offer the most amazing feedback and the most amazing coaching that I've personally ever seen geared towards nonprofit founders. So I want to give you a bit of a backstory as to why Pitch Nonprofit Show is phenomenal and why it's helped so many nonprofit founders, and not just nonprofit founders, but why it's helped so many people in general. And it's an amazing show because backstory for me, my background is not in nonprofits. I don't actually have a nonprofit, but my background is in the tech space. And in the tech space, as I mention all the time on Pitch Your Nonprofit Show, you can't throw a rock in Silicon Valley without hitting a pitch practice. And you know why that is? Do you want to know why? You want to know why you can't throw a rock without hitting? Hey, guys, I'm seeing some folks over there. You can't throw a rock without hitting a pitch practice. It's because millions upon millions of dollars are on the line for tech founders. Millions of dollars. It's on the line for tech founders. So you think they're going to take their pitch lightly? You think they aren't going to hire a pitch coach? You think they're not going to go to pitch practice? You think they're not going to use every tool in their arsenal? You think they're not going to have a pitch deck? They're not going to have the 3 pitches ready to go? You have to have 3 pitches ready to go if you are serious about getting that term sheet. It's a real thing. It's seriously real. In the nonprofit space, rather, I found that nonprofit founders, although we're talking about founders, which is at the core, tech founders are prepared because they're practicing their pitch. Nonprofit founders, however, are not. It's not that millions upon millions of dollars are not on the line. It's on the line. It's that they aren't honing and practicing and perfecting their pitch, so they're leaving money on the table. With that being said, with Pitch Your Nonprofit Show, it's really offering a solution to these nonprofit founders where I train them up and my sharks, amazing sharks. You got to check it out, pitchyournonprofit.com. You got to check it out. Amazing sharks, nurture them. And really give them the feedback that they need to be amazing founders. So what we do is Pitch Your Nonprofit Show basically trains you up to be a tech founder. You're going to pitch like a tech founder. I tell that to everybody. When you come to Pitch Your Nonprofit Show, you will leave knowing how to pitch like a tech founder. There is a specific pitch framework that if you go to pitchyournonprofit.com or if you go to my Instagram, you will see the Pitch Perfect framework that will help you pitch like a tech founder. It will give you the core elements of your pitch, everything that you need to do to be successful, to gather that attention from the sharks, to be compelling, to be concise, to make that connection, and to get that cash. Because I always say, if you don't get on Pitch Your Nonprofit Show, if you're a nonprofit founder, how they gonna fund you? If you do not have a level of visibility where people know who you are, know what you're doing, a level of visibility and influence, how can they fund you? They can't. They cannot fund you if they don't know you. I want you to repeat that and message me that. If they don't know you, they can't fund you. It's literally impossible. And that's what I do. Personally, I feel like it's the most important thing. And if you've heard me on Pitch Your Nonprofit Show, you will hear me talk about how it's more important than the actual nonprofit work that you do. Without the visibility, without the funding, without the impact, you can't do the work. So when you focus on restructuring how you engage with the end user, which is funders, donors, contributors, and people that are funding your organizations and programs, you will then gain the visibility, the influence, and traction that will allow you to fund your mission. And so that's what I help you with, help you accelerate your income, your impact, and your influence. And tonight was our first ever, it was our first of the year. It was our first. Our group was phenomenal and amazing. I can't wait to see what these founders do. Accelerated, that's the name of the program. Accelerated is a pitch and marketing, coaching, and consulting program for nonprofit founders. It's specifically designed for nonprofit founders. And what that means is that it's structured, catered, investigated, looks like what you need as a nonprofit founder versus if you're a for-profit founder. My for-profit founder community is coming. I'm looking forward to that. And I want to hear some feedback from you. If the for-profit community, because right now the for-profit community, I'm just designing it for tech founders. But if I hear more of, hey, we want this for more than tech founders, it should be open for all founders and all entrepreneurs and all businesses, not just tech specifically, I'm definitely open to that. And I want to hear more about that because, again, my background is in the tech space. So I want to be able to create that hub for you to learn how to grow and really gain the traction that you need in order to secure investment as a tech founder, because we already know how that conversation goes. And conversation typically goes like this if you're not aware. If you are a tech founder, an engineer, or something like that, engineers typically tend to build products before people actually want them, or even if they don't want them, engineers will build it anyway. And as a person who's a marketer, I'm always like, wait a minute. You need to, one, find out if people even want this product. And two, you can build a best product, but if it's in your basement and nobody knows about it, who cares about your product? Let's get your product out there. Let's get your product really, really hone in on that top of funnel. That is my sweet spot. I want to invite you to either come to the nonprofit accelerated program or the for-profit. And I want to know if we need to open that up to more than tech founders. But I want to go back to tonight. Tonight is really about, it is a celebration. It's a huge celebration. It is 2020. We are not playing anymore. We are out here. We are really, really here to help founders. And I hear this all the time. Oh my God, Liberty, what do you do? Oh my God, like Liberty, it's so much. It's really not. It is knowing how to connect with audiences, knowing how to connect with people, and knowing how to leverage every tool in your arsenal. And you always want to start with content marketing first. Everything that you do, think about the end user and think about the phrase with them. I'm sure you've heard this phrase before, but it is the with them. If you're not familiar with the with them, what it means is, what's in it for me? So whenever anyone is listening to you in any conversation, this is something that we go over at Pitch Your Nonprofit Show. Whenever anyone is listening to you, they're always looking for the with them, the what's in it for me. Studies show that most people don't listen to communicate. They're listening for a pause so they can talk. Yes, I know. Just please get How to Win Friends and Influence People. It'll be the best book you ever purchased in your entire life. And you can just listen to it on Audible. And go to Audible, get that book. And I should probably leave like a link or something so you can grab that. It is the best book ever. I feel like they should make people read How to Win Friends and Influence People before they matriculate into society. It should be a prerequisite in order to engage or communicate with other humans. It's just necessary. So back to the story. You want to look at it as the with them. People are always looking at it, the what's in it for me? How am I going to benefit? How am I important in this story? What am I going to do? That's just human psychology. That's how humans listen. That just is what it is. Once you can master that, it tailors your entire message, it tailors how you engage, and directly impacts your funding strategy. That is what you need to do in order to raise funds, and especially to raise funds without grants. I want to go back and talk about Accelerated. This program, I'm telling you guys, this program is the best program coming out of Pitch Your Nonprofit and coming out of Liberty Madison Co. It's the best program. It's affordable, it's engaging, it's in a group format. You get the opportunity to connect with other founders. They're not in your specific nonprofit niche, but they are other nonprofit founders. And what we do at Accelerated is called live lesson and labs. And the lesson and lab is I am teaching a lesson, and the lesson can really be anything specific that is specific to nonprofit founders. And then the lab is an opportunity for the consulting, that Q&A, that live one-on-one. So whenever you're like, Liberty, I just want to talk to you one-on-one, I'm be like, come to Accelerated. Liberty, I just have this question, come to Accelerated. Liberty, I really want to grow, and come to Accelerated. I don't know. And Liberty, I don't know why we didn't raise $10,000 over Q4. I didn't get the Christmas $10,000. Come to Accelerated. If you are a founder, a nonprofit founder who was not featured on the news, who doesn't have an EPK, who doesn't have an influencer under contract, who doesn't have influencers out here raising funds for you, if you weren't featured in some blog, like if you weren't on your favorite podcast, I don't understand what you're doing. I want to talk about one particular nonprofit founder that comes to mind is Coach Coop. Coach Coop comes to mind. Coach Coop, and he said something I just was like, oh my God, this is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And he said, once I took your advice and once I took your strategy, we started raising astronomical funds. I'm making more money than I ever made. And the thing that really hooks me in on that is obviously, I know you're listening like, oh, he's making more money than he ever made. What did he do? What was your advice? What was your strategy? What was your coaching? It starts off with this. It starts off with this. Number one, mindset shift. Mindset shift. That's the heavy lifting. That's the heavy lifting that most people never overcome. I'll just leave it there. Most people never overcome the heavy lifting of the mindset shift. And he said once he got over I have to do the work with my head down. I have to do the work with my head down. And I'm going to be recognized, and I'm going to do this, and I just want to do the work. I said, no. No. You need to shift that. You need to shift it to visibility, accelerating your influence, and everything marketing media. The work will come later. And he's like, what? It sounds insane to someone who's in the nonprofit industry who thinks that it's altruistic to just do the work with your head down. And for me and my brain, I'm just like, nah, don't do that. You want to achieve a particular goal. There's so many ways that you can achieve that goal. So many different ways that you can achieve it. However, there's only one way to achieve the notoriety, the visibility, and the ability to what I call not to RFP yourself to death. Like, oh my God, you do not want to RFP yourself to death. And people be out here RFPing themselves. And I use that same language when I say grant writing yourself to death. For-profit industry, nonprofit industry. You want to be out here RFPing yourself to death? Or you want to be out here writing grants forever? No. What you want to do is you want to have those ideal clients, those ideal donors, those ideal contributors come to you and look for you. Look for you to give you money. That is what I do. I help you accelerate your influence, your impact, and your income. Your income. And when you accelerate your influence, everything else follows. Everything else follows. So I want to get back to Coach Coop. And what he said was, wow, it blew my mind to think that all I had to do was switch it around. What he did, he hired a full-time content creator, social media team, and And I'm glad that he knew the difference because there's such a huge difference between a social media manager and content creator. It is huge. It's completely different. Side note, a social media manager is really just gonna push out content. Just push out content to what's happening, and they're gonna be like, okay, great, all right, whatever. But your key that's gonna unlock the door for you is the person creating your content. And I'm just like, okay, so you had a social media manager. Great. What they gonna push? Huh? What are they gonna push? You have to have a strategy. You have to have content. You have to have all of these things that are going to get that influence and that notoriety that you need. One of the things that we talked about today. Oh, hey, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for saying you're gonna send people my way. This is awesome. I love this. Come say hi to me over Instagram so I can see you. I'm just at Liberty Madison on Instagram. So come over there and say hi, but yeah, stay here too. And this is, I don't know. Let me put it over here. Oh yeah. Okay. MWAV Entertainment. Shout out to you. I'm super happy that you're here and you're catching this. What was supposed to be 5 minutes that just turned into this mini masterclass, and you're getting all this goodness. And so we're gonna go back to Coach K. So what Coach K said is once he changed the format into which he engaged with his contributors and donors, everything about his organization changed. And this is what I've been preaching from day one. Day one. But it's new to nonprofits. I get that. I get it. It's new. And one thing that I always lead with, I do not have a nonprofit. I have never had a nonprofit. And that's the benefit of working with me. I have fresh eyes that comes from an industry that focuses on innovation and focusing on running and running fast. Run fast, break things, work, iterate, do it again, learn, be creative, do what you need to do, hustle. And what I saw initially from nonprofits is one, they just didn't have that. They didn't have that experience. It's not that they don't want it. They just didn't know how to achieve it. They just didn't know that it was there. Kind of like the pitch practice that I talked about. In Silicon Valley, number one thing that they do, like I said, there's always a pitch practice going on. What I've noticed in the nonprofit space and also outside of the nonprofit space, really outside of Silicon Valley, people don't focus and practice and hone in on that pitch. Oh my God. Y'all, I have to do a whole nother video on this pitch competition that I was a part of. I wasn't a founder who pitched, but I was in the investor room with these phenomenal Silicon Valley investors that flew into Dallas to pitch at an event called the Africa House. And I talked to each founder afterwards. And this is such a side note, but I talked to each founder afterwards. They had not practiced their pitch. They didn't. Can you hear me? Yes, I'm whispering because I can't believe it. They did not practice their pitch. Out of all the people who pitched, one person was funded. One person got funded. And you know what that person did? He had hired someone help him with his pitch deck, to help him with his pitch. And hopefully I get to work with him in the future because he's raising more money. But to even get to that point and just to show that with him investing in himself, he was invested in. He was invested in. That is important. And I think that's something that we can all take away. I want to get back to the success of tonight as we close this out and wrap this up. The success of tonight is really blowing me away. It's 2022. It's a new year. It's a new time. And what I do is focus on founders, focus on founders in general. I keep it simple to I help founders accelerate their income, impact, and influence. That's it. That's all I do. And traditionally, I've been working with tech founders and having tech founders do that. Tech founders and influencers. That's pretty much what I do. Now, recently, with this whole nonprofit world opening up, I was like, you know what? I can't be all over the place, but with it being focused specifically on founders, that allows me to have that crossover. So I have two communities now. I have two communities that I serve. I serve founders in general. So when you look at for-profit and nonprofits, you look at tech founders because out of the entire for-profit space, I like to hone in my skills on tech founders and tech entrepreneurs because I just love everything about tech, love everything about innovation, fundraising, capital, VC, cap tables, term sheets, everything in that space. And for me, I I got my start, in case you're watching this and like, Liberty, what are you talking about? I got my start as a tech influencer. That's who I am. That's what I've done. A tech influencer and tech entrepreneur. I've launched various projects. I've launched startup houses. I've launched data science houses. I've had partnerships with various communities. I've launched accelerators. Like, I'm obsessed with the aspect of tech in general. But outside of my entrepreneurial journey of launching accelerators, I am at my core a tech influencer. And I really, that kind of really opened the door to other seats at the table. So being on Tech TV, being on Cisco, DocuSign, Salesforce, all of that really opened the door for me to have a seat at the table. SF New Tech, that opened the door to have a seat at the table at all of these tech conversations, and being a person who's on air and a person who really gets that behind the scenes look at when deals are going down. It's been it's been an integral part to my experience as a tech influencer, and also being the first ever tech influencer to take over all of Cisco corporate. That's a huge accomplishment to be a tech influencer in that space. So that's my core. So for me, I want to help more influencers, because I believe influencers are founders. They're founders of their business, their brand. And aside from that, I love helping people become influencers. So those are the three buckets that I'm working in right now. And I anticipate for the long haul, those are my three buckets. I love helping tech founders. I love working with tech founders. I love working in the tech space. Obviously, me as a tech influencer, but also helping tech entrepreneurs and founders. And as a tech influencer, helping other influencers, because that's me. That's where I got my start. So I feel like creating different tech tools to help protect influencers, help them matriculate the creator economy, to help them learn that they are entrepreneurs and not just freelance influencers. Like, they're building empires, and I want to be a part of that and help them really navigate that. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. And again, Pitch Your Nonprofit just kind of blew up out of nowhere. I did not anticipate Pitch Your Nonprofit being such a hit. Not that it's not a great show. It's an amazing show. I absolutely love Pitch Your Nonprofit show to be the #1 nonprofit show on Clubhouse. And I'm looking at more ways to bring Pitch Your Nonprofit to different stages. And again, if you know me, you always know I say Pitch Your Nonprofit is a show on Clubhouse. It is not a Clubhouse show. It is a life changing show that has changed so many lives. I have so many testimonials. People literally cry when they get funded from my sharks. I am looking for sharks. If you know someone who is an entrepreneur, who is a leader, who is looking to accelerate their own impact and income and influence, and they want to be a part of Pitch Your Nonprofit show, I would love, love, love to chat with them to see if they make a great fit as a guest shark. Like, can you imagine being a guest shark? I just think it's so cool. It's so awesome to be like, oh yeah, guest shark. So yeah, we're definitely booking up. We're booking right now, April and May. We're booking April and May for Pitch Your Nonprofit show. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you for watching this video. I just wanted to come on because I was so excited about Accelerated, how well it went, how all of the students were so engaged, and they really had an opportunity to look at things differently. And one of my students said, I think you need to change the name from Let's Talk About a Content Calendar, because the information you share today, it is a content calendar, but it was so much deeper than a content calendar. It had strategies, tactics, ways that you are looking at joint ventures, partnerships, influencers, adding these content strategies and content creation, and how you're going to drip this on various platforms. It really went in depth. I would encourage you to come along and work with us at Accelerated. If you are a nonprofit founder, definitely come to libertymadison.com/accelerated. And if you are a tech founder or you have a for-profit business, I would love to invite you to that group as well. Again, Accelerated is for my nonprofit folks, and our new program will focus on all of the for-profit businesses. This has been so amazing. I really appreciate you guys just hanging out with me here, hanging out late. We appreciate that. It's 11 o'clock around here. So I really, really, really appreciate that. And just go to my Instagram and shout out to the folks that came out and said, hey, this is awesome, I'm going to tell people about you, you come over there. I want to shout you out on Instagram. So head over to Instagram. And what I want to do this year, so make sure you subscribe and you hit that like button and you hit the subscribe. And one thing that I want to focus on is sharing. Share that content out. Tag some people. Say, you know what? I know this girl who can help you get your nonprofit together. Or if you know someone who is a tech founder looking to launch their app, looking to do something in that space, or if you know someone who's an influencer, like I said, that's me. That's my stomping ground. That's where I got my start. And that's where I want to help influencers. That's why I build certain tools in order to help influencers to really build. And oh, I'm seeing somebody come in. All right, okay. Piece of the family. Okay, awesome. So if you're looking for someone who wants to accelerate their income, impact, and influence, I am the person for you. And I just want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. And I'm going to plan to come on often and to have these conversations and really, really have these conversations in a home to have these conversations. I think it's very important that we do so. And make sure you come to Clubhouse so you can jump on the stage at Pitch Your Nonprofit Show. And pitchyournonprofit.com is where you go to apply if you are a nonprofit founder. And again, I'm Liberty Madison. I host Pitch Your Nonprofit Show. It is a dynamic vehicle that accelerates the influence of nonprofit founders and also the sharks who are on the show. I mean, amazing sharks. One of my sharks, he booked out his entire program on Pitch Your Nonprofit Show. It's a beast. So if you are someone who wants to be a guest shark on the show, reach out to me. I would love to connect with you. There's a couple of qualifications. I got to make sure you know how to give feedback. I got to make sure you didn't watch Shark Tank. And I have to make sure you're ready to fund our founders. So again, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And I will see you next time. And again, I want to say also, make sure you live your best life. Live a liberated life. That's my theme for 2022. We're over here. We're living liberated lives. And I'm going to grab this live selfie because I do this on all of my Zoom calls. I always grab that live selfie. I'm going to go ahead and grab one right now. And okay, thank you so much. Okay, I see you out there. Thank you. And come over and we're going to grab because leave in the comments, am I the only one who like does a live selfie for every Zoom call? All right, I'm gonna be posting these on Instagram. All right, later, dude.